Going off to the next ending. Oh, let's hope I remember how to deal with this one.
What is this place?
It looks depressing. How is this related to Iris?
Unknown, but there must be a connection.
Iris, what are you hiding?
A lot.
Somnium scan. Activate.
I still have two theories on who the big... well, three. As to who the big bad guy is. Now, will I actually remember how to do this? Let's find out.
A CRT TV.
Stop!
What is this video?
It is difficult to believe, but these are the faces of the victims of the original Cyclops killer.
What? What is going on here? Iris, what are you hiding?
We should continue. There are more objects to inspect now.
That is one thing I don't quite remember.
A torso with...
If it has a head, is it still called a torso?
what would you call it?
I don't have a choice.
Even my consciousness is being affected.
While I was unconscious, the room changed.
I'm tired of this. We have no choice but to investigate.
Evidently I'm remembering correctly.
An old television.
I believe this.
That video showed the face of a victim of the original Cyclops killer. It appeared to be the second victim.
What is going on? Iris has something to do with the first Cyclops case?
Unknown. I do not have enough information.
Guess that means we have to investigate more.
Indeed. The oil drum, shelf, and another torso have been added.
Let's go.
Oh, I remember. Push this.
Only a shelf. That shelf sticking out. It seems odd.
The ball.
What? What happened?
A metal ball must have fallen off the shelf.
Why would anyone put that there? An iron ball. It looks quite heavy.
I don't remember.
Where should I throw it?
Throw it that way.
Understood. It is unexpectedly light. All right. Yeah!
I feel like that ball hit me in the head.
Now, a TV and an old book have appeared.
I hope this is the last time.
An old-fashioned TV. Please. Help me. Help me. This was the third victim of the original Cyclops killer.
Why does Iris know that?
There is a possibility that she saw it online or on TV.
She even reproduced the circumstances of the killing. Would her imagination explain that?
Date, we have no direct evidence. For now, we must continue investigating.
Right.
3 minutes, Dante.
Just a locker.
Iba?
It's all right. More importantly,
I had forgotten how elaborate this is.
that is...
Interesting. I'm remembering now. The other one had the same female body, but it had the face of Sosajima. I wonder why.
What happened in that Somnium?
We saw it too.
The 4 murdered women are without a doubt the victims of the original Cyclops serial killings.
That means...
The murders that occurred 6 years ago are these memory fragments that coalesced in this Somnium.
No. That means the person who killed them was...
Let's talk to our good old trader. I mean, buddy. I forgot to get water, damn it.
In the Somnium earlier, I saw someone else who might be the criminal. Who was he?
I wouldn't know. I don't believe there's any meaningful connection. Between the original and new Cyclops serial killings, I mean.
Why is that?
The culprit is not the same. I am absolutely certain the original Cyclops killer could not have committed these crimes.
How can you be so sure?
Because I can. Don't worry about it. Just trust me. Remember what the boss said this morning. The original Cyclops killer has yet to be brought to justice. After the investigation got going, it was taken over by the government and classified. That was the last we heard anything about it. Of course, they paid lip service to the idea that the investigation was ongoing, but in reality, it was dropped completely. The Sinker does not always experience the somnium they expect. Dreams are pieced together from memories, even repressed subconscious ones. When using the sync machine for an investigation, we don't always see the memories we expect to see. True, oftentimes a subject will subconsciously want to express their dark secrets and repressed memories. That is why we see them so often in Somnia, and why those Somnia are so useful for criminal investigations. But this is not a guarantee. We cannot control the content of our dreams, after all. It's like I told you before. Dreams are pieced together from memories, even repressed subconscious ones. This can be expressed as an equation. Dream D equals memory A plus memory B plus memory C. This, of course, means that Dream D is a fictional event. However, the same cannot necessarily be said about memory A, B, and C. Those happened in reality. In other words, fiction is built from combinations of reality.
So what I saw in Somnium earlier...
Yes, I believe Iris actually witnessed those events.
Pewter, you said that memories happen in reality, right? But what about false memories? How do we know if the memory really happened?
Even false memories are built from the pieces of real ones. If you disassemble those pieces, you will find real events.
What about things you see in movies or television?
The events might be fictional, but the experience is not. Our imaginations are limited to what we have seen. We cannot invent something whole cloth.
Help me understand this. What I saw during the sink earlier, that was the scene of the original Cyclops serial killings, right?
Yeah.
So the person doing the killing was the original Cyclops killer.
Right.
Did you see him? He was...
I saw your face. The original Cyclops killer was...
It can't be.
This is
That's
getting
impossible.
interesting.
Date, you cannot say that for certain. You have no memories past 6 years ago.
So perhaps, Mr. Date, you are the killer. You're missing your left eye, so you steal them from others.
I'm kidding. You can't be the Cyclops killer.
Really?
They're hiding
Of course
something.
not. Do you think I would hire a serial killer?
Yes.
You interrogated Iris before the sink. What you saw in the Somnium was just a manifestation of the fear you put in her.
I don't believe that.
Didn't I tell you? The entire case is a state secret. No matter how many times you ask, I won't tell you anything.
Why is it a secret? Why can't I know?
You can't dream of something you know nothing about.
That means Iris must know about the killings.
6 years ago, Iris was 12.
Did she witness the crime at age 12? And not just one, but all four? The Cyclops killer appeared 6 years ago. I lost my memories 6 years ago. There has to be some kind of connection.
There isn't. It's a coincidence.
Really?
Really.
Then why won't you talk? If anything, the mystery only grew deeper. Peter shook me from my
Dante,
thoughts.
it looks like Iris is about to wake up.
Got it.
I headed to the psych room. This one is the one I was most interested in, this route.
Hey, Iris. About that dream earlier.
Dream? What dream?
There is no point in asking her, Date. The subject of a sink does not experience somnium in the way that you do. They will not remember it.
Then what about the Cyclops killer from 6 years ago?
Cyclops killer? I remember hearing it on the news. But I was just a little girl. I don't remember anything specific.
You don't?
No,
What about the scene of the murder?
I don't know. I've never been there.
But
Dreams are pieced together from memories, even repressed subconscious ones.
You can't dream of something you know nothing about. Date, could you take Iris home?
huh?
We do not have enough evidence to hold her. Even in Somnium, we couldn't find anything. The law demands that we release her.
You cannot decline, Date.
Unfortunately. I want answers, though. What is going on here?
Date, could we make a stop first?
Sure. Where?
Marble. It's a bar in Golden Yokocho.
You know about that place?
Yeah, Mr. Okiura took me before.
Why do you want to go there?
There's something I want to talk about.
We can't talk here?
It might take a while.
What do you think?
There's no reason to refuse.
Plus, we need more data.
Besides, there's a lot I want to ask her, too. Alright, sure.
You should definitely whatever. Alrighty. We walked in and we didn't see Mama anywhere. Ota was sitting at the count. What?
Tessa!
Why is he here? I just saw you in the last route. Right, back to this. Why?
Oh, I didn't tell him to come. He just showed up on his own.
I was nihiling with Tessa earlier. She said she was going to Marble, so I got here just before you did. Look,
Why?
I was really worried about her. She was about to be charged with a serious crime.
Isn't your phone broken?
No, this is my new one. You're thinking of the one I dropped in that puddle. Oh, she left a little while ago. She said something about going to help an acquaintance. She told me to watch the place until she got back.
How well do
That's
you know Mama?
okay.
Not at all.
What?
It's my first time here.
But to trust him with that? Always depend on the kindness of strangers ever since. Okay, that makes a bit more sense, I guess.
This actually works out nicely. I want to ask you something, Ota. It's about a Nile message you sent Iris. You said you wouldn't tell anyone about that thing. That you'd stay quiet no matter what. What were you talking about?
Well,
I'll tell her about the two-witter thing. I swear I'll do it.
geez, fine. Just don't tell anyone else, okay? But before I tell you, who's that?
What?
Don't fall for
The
this
door.
again.
Someone's standing outside.
Don't fall for this oh my god. Really? 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 We fall for this bullshit again. Really? We actually fell for this stupid I'm gonna rip Ota to a new asshole one of these routes, I swear.
Where am I?
My head was killing me, my memory was foggy. I felt a sudden pain in my neck. Sharp in my neck. When I looked over the counter, I saw a monster staring back. That's rude. It took me a second to realize that it was just Mama.
Looks like you're awake now.
As Mama spoke to me, it all came rushing back to me. Dumbass. Okay, let's just get to work.
It'll be 3 o'clock soon. In the morning, of course. Ota, the boy I asked to watch the bar?
I'd say he's too old to be called a boy, but yeah.
He was already gone when I came back. All I saw was you getting your beauty sleep on the floor.
Damn it, Ota. What are you thinking?
It appears that he took off with Iris.
What were you doing during all this?
My power was shut down due to the stun gun.
So you didn't record
I have
anything.
rebooted in safe mode and am now operational.
I tried. You wouldn't budge. I thought you were passed out drunk, so I left you like that.
But I didn't have a glass in front of me, right?
So you weren't drunk?
Didn't have a single drop.
Oh, I thought you were drinking straight out of the bottle.
What?
Just like the old days.
But there was no bottle.
Date, the boss is calling.
Oh, how am I gonna report this one?
You could not.
Listen, stay calm, but this is an emergency.
What is it
Now
now?
the killer... Well, just watch the video. I sent the address to Iba.
What? Video not live.
Iris. No, that's...
The criminal is streaming this live.
The source.
Again?
Identified. The Okiura Fishery Cold Storage Warehouse, Koto District.
Okiura?
Date, focus. We need to get to the site, now.
What's our ETA?
Our destination is far from here. 20 minutes at the fastest.
Please, please let me make it in time. That sick bastard.
Tessa! Hold on! I'll save you!
Ota.
You came from the same direction. Do I have to sync with him again for this?
Stay away from Tessa! Ah!
Kept my foot on the gas the whole time. I could feel the sweat on my palms. The engine raised a high-pitched scream, but I could barely hear it. My heartbeat was pounding in my ears, shaking me to the core. How much time had passed? The feeling of time itself had disappeared. Eventually the car reached a long bridge. Shortly after, the image changed. What? This is different now.
No, it can't be. No.
So Ota wasn't the hero this
Stop.
time. Can I stream this? Two cars again. What? Where's Ota?
Ota.
Okay. That makes sense. But why?
There you are. Finally. I was looking all over for you. It's rare to see you down like this, but it's understandable. You blame yourself for this, don't you? Beating yourself up about taking Iris to Marble, and about letting Ota get the upper hand on you. Am I right?
Both things should have never happened, mind you.
Shall I tell you what Investigation HQ thinks? Ota Matsushita is a criminal stalker who committed murder-suicide. Ota had a selfish love for Iris. He was under the delusion that Iris loved him too. But Iris refused Ota. So Ota decided that he and Iris should be together in the afterlife, killed her, then killed himself.
I don't buy that explanation.
That's ridiculous. Ota would never kill Iris.
Yeah.
And how do you explain the other two murders?
Uh-huh.
Iris's left eye was hollowed out. Just like Renju and Shoko. Those three murders were definitely executed by the same person.
Ota's eyes are intact,
The
though.
new Cyclops killer. There's no way that's Ota. Too many pieces don't fit. Too many contradictions, like killing Iris.
Such as? Maybe he was thinking like this. The reason Iris and I can't be together is because her agency prohibits it,
Bullshit.
making the president, Renju, the ultimate bad guy in his mind.
Mizuki is Ota's close friend.
Exactly.
Do you really think Ota would kill his friend's father?
Strike one.
Shoko was married to Renju. Maybe he was trying to get at Renju by killing her.
That's a stretch.
A big
They've been
one.
divorced for years.
Exactly.
Ota knows all about it. He wouldn't use Shoko to get to Renju.
Stay away from Tessa!
Ota showed himself on the stream. If he was gonna kill Iris and then himself, why would he do that? The only reason you would show yourself like that is to prove that you weren't the culprit.
Exactly.
Ota and the polar bear on the screen at the same time would prove that they're not the same person. That behavior would be totally unnecessary if he was gonna commit suicide anyway.
Well, maybe he wasn't planning on dying at first. After he killed Iris, he realized that he couldn't live with himself.
So he lies down on the workbench and turns on the ice cutting machine himself? I don't buy it.
Nope.
The culprit was wearing a polar bear costume, probably to hide their identity. But if murder-suicide was the plan, the costume served no purpose.
There are some additional discrepancies. I analyzed the investigation report. Judging by his wound, Ota was stabbed in the side by a kitchen knife or something similar.
Hmm.
Are you sure?
I am.
Oh, I know that.
Well,
Then
Ota could have stabbed himself. Maybe he thought it would be a fatal wound, but when it didn't work, he went for the ice cutting machine.
that's nonsense. Now you're just trying to fit a narrative. This makes no logical sense. This is nonsense.
then shouldn't we have recovered the kitchen knife from the scene?
Maybe he threw it in the ocean.
Boss, come on. Ota goes out to the water, stabs himself in the gut, throws the knife over the side, then walks back to the warehouse?
That's
Well, I wasn't
ridiculous.
being serious. I didn't think Ota was the culprit from the beginning. I was just playing devil's advocate for HQ.
Really?
You suck at it.
Yes, really.
Anyway, Ota didn't kill anyone, and he didn't kill himself. Here's what I think happened.
Stay away from Tessa!
Ota knew Iris was kidnapped, so he rushed onto the scene. That's when he saw the culprit wearing the polar bear costume. He tried to fight him off, but ended up being stabbed in the side. He was weakened and losing blood at the culprit's mercy. The culprit forced him into the costume, then under the ice cutting machine. And then...
Then, who is the culprit?
I wish I knew.
We're up to 4 victims. But Ota was a special circumstance. He wasn't specifically targeted by the culprit.
That explain why he
And he was
kept
the
his...
only one to not have his eye pulled out.
So let's focus on the 3 other victims. Shoko, Renju, and Iris. What connects these 3?
Connections.
If you find a connection between the victims, you find a connection to the culprit. That's the theory of investigation, right?
You think the new Cyclops killer is related to them somehow?
Maybe, maybe not. But it's a good starting point.
Mayumi had motive for killing Iris and Renju. Mayumi hated Iris, and she didn't think well of Lemnis Gate either. And since Renju is the president... Anyway, the weak point is Renju's ex-wife, Shoko. I can't imagine why Mayumi would kill her. And above all else, she would never harm her only son, let alone kill him. Renju and Shoko were connected to the Kumakuras. But there's no connection to Iris. Renju, Shoko, and So. There is a connection between Renju and Shoko through the Kumakuras. But again, I can't see any clear link to Iris. I know Renju and Shoko. And I'm connected to Iris. But I have an alibi. Aside from Shoko, there's no way I could have killed any of them. No, now that I think about it, Shoko too. I don't remember killing her. My memories from 6 years ago are missing, but I still have my memory of recent events. And if I start doubting myself now...
Date, I can say without a doubt that there is zero possibility you are the new Cyclops killer. I have been working with you for years. I know better than anyone that you are innocent.
Hitomi and Renju are definitely linked. They were high school classmates. And she did say that she met Shoko twice. But I can't imagine she would kill Iris in such a gruesome way. No matter what the circumstances were, it seems impossible to me. Mizuki has the strongest connections with all 3 victims.
And
Shoko and Renju were her parents, and she was close friends with Iris. She was good friends with Ota too. But that's why I could never believe Mizuki would kill all 4 of them. Thinking of her as a suspect is ridiculous. I thought it over, boss. Of the people I know, I can't peg any of them as the murderer.
And no leads to pursue?
No.
Then there's only one thing you can do. Continue your investigation. Do whatever it takes to get the culprit. To get justice for the victims.
You're right. Got it, boss.
Oh boy, we're in here for the long haul. Ooh, we're gonna meet Kagami.
I checked this place point by point, but didn't find nothing. No, nothing so far.
Oh, I can't talk to Kagami. Alright, back to this then.
A video camera and laptop. This is what the criminal used to stream. All of these items have been bought from pawn shops and thrift stores. It would be difficult to determine a suspect from them.
You can just find a laptop in a thrift store? Jeez, I wish.
I have logged into the Wi-Fi in this warehouse. Okiura Fishery Co., Ltd. is listed as the owner. However, I found the password written directly on the router. Anyone who saw it could have used it. I have done some research. As the name suggests, the company is owned by the Okiuras, the same Okiuras we know. Renju's father created the company.
Another connection to Renju.
No, actually. Currently, Okiura Fishery has nothing to do with Renju. The company has been managed by office representatives for the past 17 years after Renju's father died. Renju holds no shares and is not involved in the management. In short, Renju did not inherit the company from his father, and it was instead given to other persons.
But it can't be a coincidence.
It certainly is suspicious.
Right here. Iris and Ota were...
I am sure you are already aware of Ota's time of death.
just before I arrived. About 3:30 in the morning.
And the cause of death.
Right, about that. Ota had a stab wound from a kitchen knife in his side.
Correct.
What was the exact cause of death? Was it the knife wound, or...?
I cannot determine that. I can conclude that the knife wound was at least close to being fatal. Even if Ota was still alive on the workbench, he was certainly on the verge of death. If he weren't already extremely weak, we would expect to see more signs of struggle.
But why? Why did the culprit put the costume on Ota?
Unknown. Iris's estimated time of death and cause of death have been confirmed. The video was not a recording. It was a live stream, filmed in real time.
Which means Iris's time of death is 3:20 a.m.
Iris also had her left eye removed.
Yeah.
And like Renju and Shoko, Iris's left eyeball has not been recovered. Date, we should get moving. Officers from the local jurisdiction are checking the warehouse thoroughly. We will not find anything of importance here.
Yeah, you're right.
You can ask CSI to inform you if they find anything.
All right.
This forklift is old. It does not appear to be functional. It has not been moved in some time. There are only a few items on the shelf.
Is this warehouse not in use?
Very good question. What is Peter doing here?
Date, I have to talk to you about something.
Huh?
About the original Cyclops serial killings.
Why this all of a sudden?
Because I want you to solve this case, Mr. Date. I want you to find who did this and bring them to justice. So, if I can help you, even a little.
Why didn't you say anything at Abyss?
The boss was there. I couldn't speak openly in front of her. So I decided to meet you here.
All right. Let's hear it.
Earlier, I told you that I was completely certain the original Cyclops killer couldn't have committed these crimes. I am absolutely certain the original Cyclops killer could not have committed these crimes.
Are you lying through your teeth?
Let me explain why. I'll start by telling you the identity of the Cyclops killer. Although, it's more accurate to say, killers.
More than one?
In the first series of killings, the culprit had an accomplice. One of them was born a murderous psychopath. The other is Rohan Kumakura, the previous chairman of the Kumakuras.
That doesn't surprise me.
They each had a role to play. The murderer committed the homicide, and Rohan removed the eyeball. He was born with a brain dysfunction. Due to damage to the posterior pituitary gland, he was unable to properly secrete oxytocin.
Oxytocin is a peptide hormone linked to feelings of love, affection, and trust. It is colloquially referred to as the love hormone. It causes a tranquilizing effect which improves mood and relieves stress. It is normally secreted when the body makes contact with an object of affection, such as an embrace or caress.
I'm sure you know what this implies, but he was unable to feel love in the way that we do. However, he was able to experience a substitute. His brain was wired in such a way that allowed him to feel satisfaction through other means. Due to the unique idiosyncrasies of his brain, he was able to release large amounts of dopamine and endorphins by performing a certain action.
What was it?
Murder.
Dopamine is a hormone linked to the reward system of the brain. The pleasant feeling attained through accomplishment is dopamine. Endorphins are a kind of brain narcotic. They dull pain and create a feeling of happiness.
He got pleasure from killing people?
It's slightly more complicated than that. Killing people was the only way he could get pleasure. He was 12 when he took his first life. that enlightened him to the pleasure of murder, which he would do again and again. That, I don't know.
The details of the original Cyclops serial killings case have become nebulous over time. Even the official investigation material contains nothing of value. I am unable to draw any conclusions from them.
You really have no idea?
If I did, I would tell you. 18 years ago, Rohan took a woman's eye. She was already dead. He put his finger into her eye socket and gouged it out. The reason why was simple. He was fascinated by women's eyes. Their beauty stimulated his greed and his desire to possess them. He needed to have them, to make them his own. Driven by this instinctive impulse, he took the woman's eye. From then on, he acquired a grotesque obsession with the eyes of dead women. He was very particular about his need that the eye belonged to a deceased woman. But even being the head of a Yakuza gang, there weren't too many opportunities for him to indulge. His deepest, darkest desire went unfulfilled for years. However, he soon met his ideal partner, the aforementioned psychopath. The Cyclops killer would commit the murder, and Rohan would take the eye. Thus, a mutually beneficial relationship was established. This was the origin of the Cyclops serial killings. At about the same time, you were assigned to Abyss.
Okay, then.
The original Cyclops killer had an accomplice.
There were 2 Cyclops killers.
And one of them was the former chairman of the Kumakuras, Rohan Kumakura.
Rohan committed suicide by jumping to his death 1 year ago.
That means... Pewter, tell me this. One of the original killers is dead, I know that. But that means one remains. Who is he?
After his 4th murder, he was arrested by the police. They actually picked him up on other charges. But, in any case, he is currently serving a life sentence in Fuchu prison.
Fuchu prison?
Yes.
What's his name?
In prison, he doesn't have a name. He is simply called Number 89.
Him?
Number 89.
Really?
I know who killed Shogunadami.
So, now you know why I said that. That the original Cyclops killer couldn't have committed these crimes. Because one is dead, and the other is behind bars. Neither of them had the opportunity.